Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon. The vast expanse stretches before you, layers of ancient rock telling tales of millennia past. In that awe-inspiring moment, words escape you. You might utter, "Something happened here." This profound experience highlights a fundamental truth. There are realms of existence that language struggles to encompass. Language is our primary tool for navigating the world, a bridge connecting our inner consciousness with the external universe. Through words, we define, categorize, and attempt to make sense of our surroundings. Yet this very tool that empowers us also imposes boundaries on our perception. Consider the simple statement, there is a flash of lightning. In reality, the flash is the lightning. They are not separate. However, our linguistic constructs often divide unified phenomena into subjects and actions, leading to a fragmented understanding of the world. This division is not merely a quirk of speech, but reflects deeper, often unexamined, systems of belief ingrained in our language. Different cultures and languages offer unique lenses through which to view reality. For instance, in Chinese, nature is described as that which is so by itself, emphasizing a process-oriented view of the universe. Such linguistic structures can lead to a more harmonious relationship with the natural world, contrasting with the often rigid categorizations found in other languages. Yet there are experiences so profound, emotions so deep, that words fail to capture their essence. The ineffable, the mysteries of existence, the depth of a sunset, the feeling of true love, reside beyond the grasp of language. Recognizing these limitations invites us to explore nonverbal forms of understanding and connection. As we embark on this exploration of the limits of language, let us remain mindful of its power and its constraints. By acknowledging what language can and cannot convey, we open ourselves to a more direct, unmediated experience of reality, embracing the world in its fullness beyond words. Language, our primary means of communication, is a powerful tool that shapes our perceptions and interactions. However, it is not without its limitations. One significant constraint is its inherent inability to fully encapsulate the vast spectrum of human experiences and sensory perceptions. For instance, certain sensations or emotions may be challenging to express accurately in words, leading to a phenomenon known as ineffability. This limitation becomes evident when we encounter experiences that transcend linguistic description, highlighting the boundaries of language and conveying the totality of human consciousness. Moreover, language can impose constraints on our understanding by shaping and sometimes limiting our cognitive processes. The structure and vocabulary of a language can influence how its speakers perceive and categorize the world, a concept explored in linguistic relativity. This suggests that the limitations inherent in a language can in turn limit the cognitive frameworks of its speakers, affecting their ability to conceptualize certain ideas or experiences. Additionally, language often struggles to convey the full depth of abstract concepts or complex emotions. While metaphors and analogies can bridge some gaps, they are inherently limited and can lead to misinterpretations. This inadequacy can hinder effective communication, especially in conveying nuanced or deeply personal experiences. Furthermore, the dynamic nature of language means it is continually evolving and words can change in meaning over time. This fluidity can lead to ambiguity and misunderstandings, as the same word may hold different connotations for different people or cultures. Such variability underscores the challenges in achieving precise communication and the potential for language to both connect and divide. In conclusion, while language is an indispensable tool for human interaction, it is essential to recognize its limitations. By acknowledging these constraints, we can strive for greater empathy and understanding in our communications, being mindful of the gaps that words may leave and the experiences they may fail to fully capture. Language, our primary medium of communication, is not merely a passive conduit for expressing thoughts. It actively shapes and sometimes constrains our perception of reality. This phenomenon, known as linguistic relativity, suggests that the structure and vocabulary of our language influence how we think and interpret the world around us. For instance, languages that lack specific terms for certain colors can affect how speakers of those languages perceive and distinguish those colors. This implies that our cognitive processes are, to some extent, molded by the linguistic frameworks we operate within. Moreover, language can impose constraints on our understanding by shaping and sometimes limiting our cognitive processes. The structure and vocabulary of a language can influence how its speakers perceive and categorize the world, a concept explored in linguistic relativity. This suggests that the limitations inherent in a language can, in turn, limit the cognitive frameworks of its speakers, affecting their ability to conceptualize certain ideas or experiences. Additionally, language often struggles to convey the full depth of abstract concepts or complex emotions. While metaphors and analogies can bridge some gaps, they are inherently limited and can lead to misinterpretations. This inadequacy can hinder effective communication, especially in conveying nuanced or deeply personal experiences. Furthermore, the dynamic nature of language means it is continually evolving, and words can change in meaning over time. This fluidity can lead to ambiguity and misunderstandings, as the same word may hold different connotations for different people or cultures. Such variability underscores the challenges in achieving precise communication and the potential for language to both connect and divide. In conclusion, while language is an indispensable tool for human interaction, it is essential to recognize its limitations. By acknowledging these constraints, we can strive for greater empathy and understanding in our communications, being mindful of the gaps that words may leave and the experiences they may fail to fully capture. Language serves as the primary medium through which we interpret and engage with reality, acting as both a mirror and a lens that shapes our perceptions. The dynamic interplay between language and reality is foundational to our understanding of the world, influencing not only how we communicate, but also how we think and perceive. One perspective on this relationship is the correspondence theory of truth, which posits that the truth or falsity of a statement is determined by how accurately it reflects the external world. According to this theory, statements are true if they correspond to actual states of affairs in reality. This viewpoint underscores the idea that language functions as a descriptive tool, aiming to match words and sentences to the world as it exists. However, the relationship between language and reality is not merely one of passive reflection. Language actively shapes our cognitive processes. The linguistic relativity hypothesis, often associated with the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, suggests that the structure and vocabulary of a language influence its speaker's worldview and cognition. For instance, the way a language categorizes colors or spatial relationships can affect how its speakers perceive and think about these aspects of the world. Moreover, language has the capacity to create and manipulate our experience of reality. The narratives we construct and the metaphors we use can shape our understanding of events, objects, and even our own identities. This creative power of language allows us to conceptualize possibilities beyond our immediate experience, influencing our perceptions and actions. The dynamic relationship between language and reality is also evident in the evolution of languages over time. As cultures develop and change, so too does their language, reflecting new realities and shaping future perceptions. This reciprocal influence highlights the adaptability of language and its integral role in human cognition and society. In summary, language and reality are intricately intertwined, each continually influencing and shaping the other. Understanding this relationship enhances our comprehension of human thought, communication, and the diverse ways in which we experience the world. Language is more than a mere tool for communication. It profoundly influences how we perceive and interact with the world. The concept of linguistic relativity, often associated with the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, suggests that the structure and vocabulary of a language can shape its speaker's worldview and cognition. One illustrative example is the way different cultures perceive color. While English distinguishes between blue and green, some languages, such as Vietnamese, use a single term to encompass both hues. This linguistic distinction influences how speakers of these languages categorize and remember colors, demonstrating that language can affect even basic sensory perceptions. Another area where language shapes perception is in the conceptualization of time. English speakers often describe time horizontally, referring to the future as ahead and the past as behind. In contrast, Mandarin speakers frequently use vertical metaphors, conceptualizing the future as down and the past as up. These linguistic frameworks influence how individuals from these cultures perceive and organize temporal events, affecting everything from daily planning to long-term decision-making. Furthermore, language can shape our understanding of agency and responsibility. For instance, English tends to assign explicit agents to actions, even in accidental scenarios, leading to statements like, "She broke the vase." In contrast, Spanish might express the same event more passively, saying, "The vase broke." These linguistic differences can influence how speakers of each language assign blame and perceive intentionality in actions. These examples underscore the profound impact of language on cognition and perception. By shaping the categories and frameworks through which we interpret our experiences, language influences not only how we communicate, but also how we think, feel, and understand the world around us. Language, our primary tool for communication, often encounters boundaries when attempting to convey profound or deeply personal experiences. These ineffable experiences, such as the profound emotions evoked by a piece of music or the transcendent moments during meditation, highlight the limitations inherent in linguistic expression. While words strive to encapsulate these sensations, they frequently fall short, leaving gaps between the experience itself and our ability to describe it. Philosophers have long grappled with this challenge, exploring the nature of experiences that defy articulation. The very act of attempting to describe the indescribable underscores the constraints of language, as it is inherently linear and sequential, whereas human experiences can be multifaceted and simultaneous. This disparity often leads to a recognition that certain facets of our consciousness remain beyond the reach of verbal communication. The dynamic nature of language further complicates this issue. As words evolve and meanings shift over time, the challenge of conveying timeless or universal experiences becomes even more pronounced. This fluidity can lead to ambiguity and misunderstandings, as the same word may hold different connotations for different individuals or cultures. Such variability underscores the challenges in achieving precise communication and the potential for language to both connect and divide. In recognizing these limitations, we are prompted to explore alternative forms of expression. Art, music, and other non-verbal mediums often serve as conduits for conveying what words cannot. These forms allow for a more direct transmission of emotion and experience, bypassing the constraints of language and tapping into a universal human understanding that transcends linguistic boundaries. Ultimately, the ineffable aspects of human experience serve as a reminder of both the power and the limitations of language. While words are indispensable tools for sharing knowledge and building connections, they are not omnipotent. Acknowledging this invites us to appreciate the richness of human experience that lies beyond the confines of verbal expression, encouraging a deeper exploration of the myriad ways we connect, understand, and share our inner world. Language, while a powerful tool for communication, inherently imposes constraints on our understanding and expression of reality. These limitations often stem from the linear and structured nature of language, which may not fully capture the complexity and nuance of human experience. To transcend these boundaries, individuals and societies have developed various methods that allow for a more holistic and profound connection with the world around us. One such method is the use of art forms, such as music, visual arts, and dance, that convey emotions and ideas beyond the confines of words. These mediums enable the expression of abstract concepts and deep feelings that might be challenging to articulate verbally, thereby offering alternative avenues for understanding and connection. Another approach involves the practice of mindfulness and meditation, which encourage direct experiential engagement with the present moment. By focusing attention inward and observing thoughts and sensations without the mediation of language, individuals can experience a sense of reality that is unfiltered by linguistic constructs, leading to a more immediate and intimate understanding of existence. Engaging in cross-sectional exchanges and learning multiple languages can also expand one's cognitive frameworks and perceptions. Each language carries unique cultural nuances and ways of interpreting the world. Thus, multilingualism can provide diverse perspectives and reduce the limitations imposed by any single linguistic system. In essence, while language serves as a foundational tool for human interaction, recognizing and addressing its limitations through alternative forms of expression, mindfulness practices, cultural immersion, and technological innovations can lead to a more enriched and comprehensive experience of reality. In contemplating the limits of language, we uncover both its remarkable capacity to shape our understanding and its inherent constraints in capturing the full spectrum of human experience. Language, with its structured syntax and vocabulary, allows us to communicate, categorize, and make sense of the world. However, as Alan Watts insightfully observed, it also imposes a framework that can obscure the fluid and interconnected nature of reality. Our reliance on nouns and subjects can lead us to perceive the world as a collection of separate entities, rather than a dynamic, interwoven process. Recognizing these limitations invites us to approach communication and understanding with humility and openness. It encourages us to explore alternative modes of expression, such as art, music, and mindfulness practices, that transcend verbal boundaries and offer deeper connections to the ineffable aspects of existence. By acknowledging that words are but pointers to experience, not the experience itself, we can appreciate the profound mystery that lies beyond linguistic constructs. In doing so, we embrace a more holistic and enriched engagement with the world, one that honors both the power and the limits of language,